Welcome to Introductory Cooking for Advanced Professional Chefs, also known as ICUPs, also known as 8 cups, as in 8 cups of water a day is good for you. I'm your host, Brownie, not because I'm brown, but because I like brownies, and I like putting things in my brownies, like walnuts and chocolate chips and coconut pieces and yeah. So what I'm going to be showing you today is how to make simple things with one simple ingredient. Bread. That's right, bread. I'm going to show you how to make all your favorite foods that you usually need many different things for with just this one thing. Let's get started. So the first thing we're going to make is a sandwich with bread. It's going to be a bread sandwich. All you need is a piece of bread. What you're going to do is you fold the bread in half. You cut it in half or you break it. You can use a knife if you want to be exact. You can use an X-Acto knife too, if that's how that floats your boat, or yeah. And all you do, you take the ends of the bread, 1, 2, and now you take the bread piece that you have, and then you put 1, 2, 3, 4. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 bread pieces. You take the next bread piece you have and you put it on top. You smush it. This is your bread sandwich. See, you're done already. You didn't have to do any preparation for that other than using the bread and the bread that you're going to put inside the bread sandwich. The next thing we're going to be learning how to make today is bread butter. Now, some people like to put peanut butter or jelly or peanut butter and jelly on their bread. Some people like to put butter on their bread, hence making butter bread. But what we're going to do today is do something even simpler. We're going to make bread butter. We're going to make butter out of bread. And I'll show you how to do it really simply. What you need is bread pieces like this and a rolling pin. We're going to start off with just about 6 pieces of bread like this, since we don't want to make too much, since this is just an introductory lesson for advanced professional chefs. What you do is you take the bread pieces and you put them on a cutting board like so, and you take your rolling pin and you want to mush them. So you just want to mush it until they get kind of mushy, because that's why you're mushing them, so that they're mushy, obviously. You mush them until they're piecey like that, as you can see. The only issue is that now, today, you need to make it kind of pasty so that it has that buttery texture. So what we do for this is add some mayonnaise. So you just open the lid off the mayonnaise jar, grab a knife, and apply it to the bread pieces that you mushed, like so. Now what you do is you take your bread and your bread butter and you spread it on the bread. Ta-da! Bread butter on bread. A bread butter bread sandwich. Or just bread butter bread. The next thing we're going to learn how to make on Introductory Cooking for Advanced Professional Chefs, aka 8 cups, aka 8 cups, as in 8 cups of water a day is good for you, is ice cream. Now you might be thinking, how can I make ice cream with bread? Well, it's simple. Instead of using the typical ingredients for ice cream, all you need is, you guessed it, bread. We're going to learn how to make that today for this show. You're going to need some bread, some milk, and some ice. And optionally, some sugar or salt, whatever floats your boat. So all you do is you take your crushed up bread that you crushed or just break into pieces and drop it into the blender like so. Then you want to add some sugar, some milk, a cube of ice, and some people like salt, sea salt, because it adds a certain tanginess to the ice cream. There, that's probably just enough. And you blend. Once that's done, you open the blender, grab a cup, and you go ahead and pour your mix into your cup. Doesn't it look great? And for another thing you can make for a simple breakfast with cereal is whole grain cereal. Why use whole grain cereal that you buy in a box when all you need is bread? All you do, get a bowl, pieces of bread into nice sizable chunks, just like cereal. Drop it in the bowl, add some milk, and you got whole grain cereal that you can eat and make in an instant without having to buy it in the store and wasting all that cardboard. Simple, fast, and healthy. Now we're going to start moving towards the stuff and using the stuff to actually cook things involving the use of bread. All you need to make bread soup is, you guessed it, water and bread. First you take the bread and put the pieces or chunks you made into your pot on the stove, as you can see. We don't need to make a lot since this is just for sampling. Then you take about 3/4 cups of water and you pour it into your pan. Now all you do is let it simmer for a few minutes on the stovetop and swirl it around like so. And voila! Bread soup. Wow, we've been through a lot today on Introductory Cooking for Professional Advanced Chefs, aka ACUPS, aka ACUPS, as in 8 cups of water is good for you. Our final dish for the day is gonna be, you guessed it, bread curry. A lot of people ask me today how to use spices in cooking, and I tell them it's simple. All you need is bread and a spice box that has spices. Now, it's somewhat similar to the bread soup, except that you add on to it with spices and things like that, yeah. So you take your pan or pot, call it what you want, take water, add it in. Now you want to bring this to a boil, okay? Once you have your water boiling on the stovetop, or stove, or stove, or hot plate, call it what you want, whatever floats your boat, I guess. All you do is you take your bread and break it up into pieces. You add it in the water. Then what you want to do is start adding your spices. So you want to start with some salt. And then you use your spice box, which has all kinds of spices. And you add some fennel seeds, some mustard seeds, or the pepper stuff that I don't know what it's called, some turmeric. You can add some chili pieces. Those are the flakes inside the red pepper. We have a beautiful medley of bread, water, and all the ingredients we just poured in. The last step is to let it cook on the hot plate and mix everything together. And you end up with this kind of bread spice soup mix. And you want to make sure your bread is mushed up in there. And if you want, you can even add some olive oil to the mix, just to add some taste. And you want to mix it for about 25 to 55 minutes. It varies with your preference and your stove and your taste of whether you like undercooked or burned. Everyone has their own preference. Then you can take your serving bowl and pour it in. You get some of the bread chunks, you got some of the yellow liquids, curry stuff, and ta-da! Thank you for joining us on our very first edition of Introductory Cooking for Advanced Professional Chefs. I hope you learned a lot today with me, your host, Brownie, and I hope to see you again next time for another lesson on cooking great things with great simple things that taste good.